You see, the hardest part about anything is the start, it is the beginning. You know, you have no confidence, you have no idea what you're doing. You don't even know where to begin. Everything is just unclear. So the question is, if every single journey has this tough phase at the beginning, why would you want to prolong your suffering? Instead of waiting to start, how about you start and then wait? Because the sooner you start, the sooner you can actually get over this tough beginning phase. So the message of this video is to just start, start. Stop waiting for the right answer or the right moment or the preparation that you think you need. You're gonna be clueless at the beginning. You're gonna have no idea what you're doing. When I started this YouTube channel, you can check for yourself too. I had no idea how to make videos. I barely knew how to speak to a camera. I barely knew how to edit. You see, it was by starting anyways. It was by not thinking too much and just putting my first foot in the door. You see, it was by taking those first few steps. Not thinking too much about how or what is gonna happen if I go down this path, but just taking action, just starting. And here's the thing, if it does work out good. If it doesn't work out good too. Because you'll have gained so much experience that the loss just doesn't matter anymore. You see, there's always one emotion when it comes to change. I mean, the way I've seen it, there's always a little bit of anger, there's always some frustrated emotion that leads to the change that you're looking for. I think it's only when you truly get frustrated with your own situation to the point where, you have no choice but to change. I think as long as you love your comfort more than you hate the pain that it brings, then no change is going to take place. So this is the story of how I started before I knew how. I started writing 4 years ago. I started journaling every single day and I loved it. It was my creative outlet that allowed me to express my thoughts. And then about a month ago, I actually got the idea to write my own ebook. But at first, I had no idea how to start. The entire path in front of me was blurry. I had all these amazing ideas. I had all of these, amazing visions of all the stories I'm gonna write, everything I'm gonna say. But then eventually, I took no action. I did nothing. Because in my mind, the path was just too unclear. But then after some time passed, the pain of not taking action on something I said I was gonna do. You see, it's just the pain of walking around all day, knowing that I can, but I'm not. And it got to the point where that bothered me so much that I eventually took action. I didn't care what I wanted to do. I didn't care how I was gonna do it. I wasn't gonna wait for any more preparation or knowledge or the right time to start. I was tired of waiting, so I just took the first step. Since the path was so unclear, I decided to make it clear. So the first thing I did was I created a new Google Docs, and then I gave it a name. And then I decided to number the chapters, and then I gave them names as well. This did take a bit of time, but it gave me direction. Now I'm a few steps closer towards the goal I want to reach. And sometimes that's enough to just get the ball rolling. And then the exact next day after that, I started writing. I started taking dramatic action. And then if there was something I didn't know, I researched it. If I was out of ideas, I'd look for inspiration from other books, other quotes, and other things that just inspired me that day. You see, I wanted to write and finish this book. I never looked for excuses to quit when I experienced defeat. I always just found my way through. And then eventually, after hours, days, and weeks of writing this book, I was eventually finished, and then all I had to do was reread a couple of times to check that there were no mistakes, and then I had to create the design, the template, the description, and everything else. And the feeling of accomplishment after I finished writing this book was just incredible. I just felt so accomplished, fulfilled, and achieved, because I said I wanted to do something, I had the idea, and then I actually did it. So I started before I knew how, but don't get me wrong, I also could have started it way earlier. It did take me about a month of having the thought till I actually took my first steps. And the reason for that is because the path was unclear. So in order to make the path clear, you're gonna have to take the first few steps, no matter what they are. So my ebook is out right now. You can check it out, link in the description. So I definitely know for a fact that there is something in your mind that you want to start, but there is some type of fear that is holding you back. So think about this. What scares you more? The idea of failing or the idea of knowing that you never even tried? Trust me when I tell you, the feeling of accomplishment when you actually do what you said you were gonna do is amazing. And just the same way, the feeling of regret of not doing what you said you were gonna do, that guilt, that regret that you were gonna feel, it is gonna eat you up from the inside. Believe me, it's not a pleasant feeling. So stop waiting for preparation, just start. Start before you know how, start before you have the preparation that you think you need. Literally all you gotta do is just start.